Okay, sport management 2P65 take-home video assignment. All right, question 1. So, number 1 is economic conditions. So, any fluctuation in local income would affect ticket sales and sponsorship opportunities, merchandise sales. So, anytime there's like an economic downturn, this would reduce any spending on anything non-essential, any like sporting events or entertainment. Number 2 is demographics. So age distribution and your population growth would basically impact your current and potential fan base. So if Niagara has an aging population, it would influence your marketing focus to be more toward senior-friendly events and health awareness, being healthy. An example of this also is like the Niagara River Lions had Trinidadian and Caribbean Culture Night, or the Blue Jays, they have cricket games, kind of identifying shifts in the ethnic culture of your communities and your city, and kind of marketing things more towards that to find new fan bases. Number 3 is technology. So advances in streaming services and apps, and kind of the way that we consume sports now has changed, and it could affect your attendance and your strategies for getting new fans or getting fans in the building. So, teams in the Niagara area can leverage this through online platforms like through Instagram or through a streaming service to reach broader audiences and find a way to get new fans without maybe having them be at the game live. Cultural trends. So, anytime there's a trend that's happening in the world, like having an increased interest in health and wellness, it could lead to more participation in amateur sport or fitness-related events. So you can use this as a team to capitalize and have things more catered to that, have games be focused on that, and this can help get more fans to games or show interest in your team. And physical environment. So Niagara has a very unique environment, as we have 4 different seasons, and some of them could be very harsh, very extreme to one side. So, having travel accessibility and all this, it can all affect your attendance, especially with like outdoor sports, outdoor events. So being prepared for that with like having accessibility for people, or having alternative routes to get to places, or ways to get people to your games or your events. And then obviously legal is a big factor. So changing or having new or current regulations around, safety in your sport or local policies. This can all influence your team through having new developments in your stadium or like operational cost. And this is all legal under the legal umbrella. And this will all be a factor to how your team decides to put things in the budget, because all of this is meant to be done properly. Question 2. So the 3 levels I'm going to look at are cognitive, affective, and behavioral. So cognitive, fans are aware of their connection and recognize the team as a part of their social identity. So an example of this, if you're a fan of the Niagara Ice Dogs and you feel a strong sense of recognition with the team, and it's part of your daily conversation, daily habits. Affective, so like emotionally attached to a team. So when a fan would experience pride or joy when a team is successful. So like the Raptors when we won the championship, having a sense of pride in that team because of what happened. Behavioral, so fans actively participating So like attending games, buying merch, and like engaging with the activations at the games or fan events. So an example of this is like a season ticket holder for the Toronto Raptors, right? Going to all the events, participating in like the activations, or going to games, going to every game, right? That's the sort of thing that would happen. So any sports team that wants to increase their fandom would want to create community events, to help strengthen those emotional ties that people have to your team, and like make new fans or make new memories for fans. Offering fan engagement initiatives like meet and greets, or having players show up to events that you guys hold as an organization. Having more enhanced marketing strategies that are more personal to fans, to deepen their connection with your team. All right, question 3. So, sport has six bigger differences to other entertainment forms. So first, it's a live physical event. So sport would provide you with like a unique live action experience, having the high stakes of a basketball game or a baseball game even. This all differs from movies, concerts, or theater, when it's like a different type of pre-recorded or performed event on stage. Number 2 is the physical skill. So the outcome of games is uncertain. All of it is driven by the athletes and the skill that they have, because unlike having a scripted play or having like a concert performance, you don't know what's going to happen. There's an unpredictability. So having like a last minute goal, missing a key shot, all that comes in to how we love sport, because of how unpredictable it is and how it changes every time. Number 3 is community engagement. Sport is a communal thing. It fosters a collective experience. Fans share emotions in the stadium, and it's not like you're watching a movie or a concert. It's a different type of emotional stakes that you share with the people around you. And number 4, there's a participatory element to it. Spectators can often participate physically, like cheering or playing the sport at an amateur level, obviously. This is like less common in watching a movie or watching theater. When you're physically present there and are cheering along with your team, that does something to us. It changes how we feel about the team and how we feel about watching it live. That's why when people tell you like you have to be there live, like it's a different feeling. There's immediate competition. So sports is one of the only things that like they involve a real-time competition directly, whereas movies, concerts, or theater, it's like a performance. Everything's a performance. Everything's scripted. And number 6 is atmosphere, and this kind of goes hand in hand with like the participatory element and that live physical display. The whole energy and atmosphere that you get in a stadium of like a roaring crowd at a football game, a basketball game, a baseball game, that silence that you hear before the pitch, all of that make it distinct to watching that sporting event. All right, number 4, question 4. So strengths are having a loyal fan base or having that strong team branding, like the Leafs or the Jays. Weaknesses are like past performances of the team, or like having limited resources, maybe financially or just physical resources that you have on hand. Opportunities are like increasing your local interest or new sponsorship deals. And threats are obviously any other entertainment options in your region, right? Or any economic downturns. But all of this is like anything that wants to take time away from your viewing of your team to bring it to them. So an example for the Toronto Blue Jays, they have a strong history and a loyal fan base. That's their strengths. Weakness, recently, not this season, but we had some inconsistent performances, and it's been affecting attendance. And opportunities, right now we're winning, so we can obviously expand media coverage and expand our marketing during the playoffs, right? We have a lot more time to show off our team, show off everything that we have. And threats obviously come in the form of other teams, like, as they slowly dip more in the playoffs and as the Jays get more popular, more people would watch that rather than maybe hockey, or rather than basketball, or rather than football, Argos even. But any other sport team would want that piece of the pie again. All right, question 5. Unpredictability. Outcomes are uncertain. It makes every event unique. Emotionally charged. Sport has deep emotional connections with people, and it's always fostered through your experiences with them live or watching the game with your fellow fans. And it's a social event. It's inherently social, right? Sport, it's a social gathering where you are encouraged to be in a community doing this. And it's performance based. Success depends on athletic performance rather than the quality of the ball, right? It's all dependent on how they play. And seasonality. So sport operates on a seasonal schedule, right? It would influence your share of the market of watching and the revenue of your team, depending on the season. Okay, question 6. So now modern sports teams are developing, dedicated female-friendly facilities, programs, and branded merchandise that would resonate with females and women that are not stereotypically the women's sections. And then there's initiatives like women-only fitness classes, women leadership programs, and women-focused event nights that are being introduced. And teams are now trying to improve in their offerings of tailored experiences, such as flexible ticket packages or women's health and wellness promotions. And all this is just to try and get more female representation in marketing to make them feel more part of the game, part of the sport. Question 7. So demographics, age, gender, income, targeting youth leagues, targeting ticket holders, geographically, location, where you are, Toronto, Niagara, for local fans. Psychographics, so your lifestyle, your personality, branding that would appeal to adventure seekers, health conscious fans, seniors, all that. Behavioral, so your buying patterns and loyalty. So targeting fans based on previous attendance, merchandise history. Technological engagement preferences, so digital versus traditional media. And then benefits, so specific preferences that fans have. Are they attending for entertainment, community, status? Question 8. So fans would seek escape and entertainment, so engaging in the thematic games of it, special promotions, unique in-game entertainment. The Raptors use theme nights, interactive experiences, social media engagement, create a lively environment and opportunity. And they would also leverage story of team success, building on excitements of previous seasons and making it a chance to be part of something distinct and an entertaining experience rather than just watching the game. Question 9. Favorite part of the class is doing the reflective portfolio assignment. Least favorite part of the class is trying to get this to fit in 15 minutes. Done.